TC Spiritual Shepherd, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be getting into Breatharian Consciousness, higher frequency, higher vibration, higher consciousness, Breatharian Consciousness. Now, you guys have heard of Breatharians. Maybe some of you guys have, maybe some of you guys haven't. Ultimately, I would say that I'm a Breatharian 3, somebody who can pretty much do fasts on a whim, who can not eat a lot of food if I don't want to eat a lot of food for long periods of time. And this is through study, this is through education, this is through experience generally. Now, not to talk about me, but ultimately there is a consciousness of the Breatharian. And I learned this from Tom Elamine when we were on the Breatharian retreat in Sedona, Arizona, where it was Tom Elamine and it was Shayna Dean. I was also with a few good friends, Jerome Shaw and Seven Circles, Jonathan. His name is Jonathan. I don't know what his last name is, but ultimately they still spread this powerful knowledge and wisdom about the Breatharian consciousness or about the Breatharian lifestyle. Now, if you guys are interested in Breatharianism, or if you guys are interested or understand breath work and Breatharian lifestyle, it is cultivated by the consciousness. Also, Tom Elamine, who is a Breatharian 4, does not eat, does not drink, who is a nomad, a digital nomad as well, a physical nomad, but also a digital nomad. One thing that I also want to bring forth in this type of context and content of what I'm speaking on is he's already released a video on Breatharian consciousness that people who are on a Breatharian consciousness, or people who want to know what a Breatharian consciousness is, the only time that you can know what it really is through the experience of being Breatharian on Breatharian consciousness, where you are experiencing the Breatharian consciousness. Okay, so now with this is operating on higher frequencies, guys. Like, this is very like peak ultraviolet frequencies or peak indigo frequencies. If you guys are looking at like you know, like the consciousness scale, I could put it up right here if you guys want to as well. Now, one big thing about Breatharian consciousness is this is what Jesus did. This is what Yeshua the Christ did. Yeshua the Christos did, was ultimately he did not eat for 40 days and 40 nights in the desert. The desert is a metaphorical terrain. That is really what the basis is. This is also in the book called Vibrate Higher Daily. Vibrate Higher Daily. And by being on the frequency or the Breatharian frequency, the Breatharian consciousness, you're operating on a level where you are being sustained by prana, you're being sustained by chi, you're being sustained by breath, or ruach in Hebrew, which would be breath or spirit. And so therefore, bringing more consciousness into the body, not always escaping the body, but bringing more and more consciousness into the body, ingraining into the body. Okay, and a lot of people really, that I've realized is that the more that they bring consciousness in, even before they eat or even before they drink, they digest better. They have better digestion. They have less bloating. They have less inflammation, all this type of stuff, because of the chi or the prana within the breath, within the Breatharian or the breath consciousness. So the breath has prana in it, or pranayama. Yama meaning cultivation, prana meaning breath. So breath cultivation, meaning breath, you're cultivating your breath, therefore creating what? Chi, or you're creating energy, inner God, inner goddess, energy. So you have God within you, and by doing that, you're cultivating that to where you are less reliant on external things. Also, Breatharian consciousness is not really reliant. You can be an ultra minimalist. You could be an extreme minimalist. This was my first journey on YouTube. If you guys go all the way down to like my first video, like my first videos, I had nothing in my room. I had nothing. And now I'm in the point where the evolution, you know, the elevation, or I've grown where I could be around other people's stuff and not necessarily always want stuff. Or if I get stuff, I only will just buy 1 or 2. I won't buy 50. I won't buy 100. Okay. And then I use it for the extremities that it could be used to. So I buy this pair of shoes and I wear this pair of shoes. And the Breatharian consciousness is also it is a consciousness, which means that you are conscious, or you're consciously aware, where you bring forth awareness to Breatharianism to begin with, meaning that you are aware, I always say that there's states too, the solid, liquid, gas, plasma state. Solid meaning food, liquid meaning liquids, smoothies, soups, you know, juices, water, coffee, teas, all that type of stuff, okay? Or yeah, blended soups or blended food. And then dry, which is breatharian, where you're just going cultivating in breatharian. And the key is ultimately the liquiditarian diet. That is the key. That is absolutely the key. It is the thing where you are reprogramming your brain. You are giving your body healing mechanisms, ultimately to reinstitute more chi. You are educating yourself on food. You're educating yourself on this type of stuff. And then solid is, I guess you would say, like the lowest frequency state. If you were to even see it in 3D, 4D, and 5D, it would be 3D would be food, 4D would be water and liquid, and then 5D would be breatharian, where you're living totally from consciousness and awareness. And this is exactly what Yeshua the Christ did, was he did 40 days, 40 nights. Do you think that he couldn't have gone longer? Of course he can go longer. Of course he can go longer. And that's the key, is like when you start to really see the implementation of what fasting does, there's thousands of studies on fasting. There's thousands of studies on short-term fasting and the benefits on just short-term fasting. You know, like 18 hour, 16 hour, 24 hour, like half days, like 12 hours is where you start to see even some results from fasting. You start to receive more insulin sensitivity from fasting. If you go more the longer, the 96 hours and beyond, you could see the stem cells. You can see the stem cells go to any type of thing to replenish. You could see, if you go 9 days and beyond, you can see full stem cell regeneration, stem cell activation, where it starts to activate in all of the 12 bodily systems, and it actually can start healing things that you don't feel like you could have healed. That's the key. Same with liquid diet. So that is why people are like, oh, I'm on liquid, I want to just do juices, I want to just do smoothies, I want to do this. That is the cultivation of it, is where you start to lean more. And it's the basis is do a fast. Do a fast for 3 days. I know it's going to be difficult on the second day, I know it'll be difficult on the first day, but do at least 3 days. I do 3 days per month, and that is the main thing for me. Right now I'm in a 4-day fast. I'm 2.5 days in, I'm going to 4 days. And the big thing about this is, like, as I do this, this is a challenging thing for my mindset, challenging thing for my emotional space, a challenging thing for my physicality, a challenging thing for my habits and my actions of eating meals. But here's a big thing too, is as you start to do that, you can retrain your brain. You can retrain your neurotransmitters. You can retrain the way that your endocrinal hormones are secreting, the way that your hormones are being secreted, how your hormones are operating. And that is the power of fasting. The power of fasting is resetting your entire endocrinal system, the entire nervous system, the entire physical body. And then that is also where your power is. And so I always say, go on a fast, then you go into liquids, you start doing liquids, and then go into solids if you're going to do that, if you're planning on eating later. Now, if you're planning on transitioning and going full breatharian and being on the breatharian consciousness, where your state of beingness is more in spirit rather than in physicality, where you are more of a nomad, where you're moving around, where you're going with the wind goes where it may, okay? The wind blows where it may. The wind blows where it goes. It will just blow how it wants to. And so you could be that being that goes with that flow. A lot of us are resisting the flow of the wind, the flow of the waves, the flow of the wavelengths and the frequencies of our lives, the vibrations of our lives. We're not that. If you're listening to this, generally, you're probably tapping more into going with the flow. And here's the big thing, guys, to conclude this, is that as you go with the flow more, you can start to really cultivate, really cultivate breatharian lifestyle, which is going from solid food, liquid, then you're doing liquid for, let's say, a 5-day liquid fast, then you go into a 3 or 4 day dry fast or 5-day dry fast, and then that is a 10-day without solid food. That's an accomplishment as a breatharian. And then you can continuously do this, and as you do this and shorten that time between the time between fasts, that's how you evolve the breatharian consciousness, where you start to really realize food is a complete illusion. Food is complete death for the body. You have no reason to need food. We are complete whole beings. We are holistic beings, and we are made in the image of God, and God is impartial. God is impartial. Peace.